When I was a very young girl, I wished for an interesting life. The joke is on me though, because as I often say now, that I should have been more specific about my wish, because it was definitely interesting, but a lot of it not in the way I had envisioned. I was born in a time where doctors didn't have like 18,000 different high-tech things to figure out what's going on with your baby while they're still in the womb and what after they come out. In that way, there's been a lot of advancement. When I came out, I was fine. Nothing was wrong with me. No one could see anything, and even if there wasn't the equipment around to see it. But I was actually dubbed a kind of a sick kid. Had gone to the emergency room at least probably 2 or 3 times, probably more, before I was 6. They would take me out of my mom's arms, and the quickest thing they had to do immediately was get the fever down, almost every single time. And back then, the way they did that in Manhattan at the hospital that I went to was wet all these cloths with vinegar. And you're basically wrapped in vinegar cloth and kind of in a lukewarm sort of tub thing. And the idea being, first the vinegar sucks out all the heat immediately. So it stops you from you have like imaging where you feel like the radiating is happening off of your skin. Like that's how much heat's coming off. The vinegar sort of sucks that immediate heat away. And then they have to try to get your temperature, or for me, try to get my temperature down. The illness thing. To just list them out, big time RA, rheumatoid arthritis. That one's been probably one of the more predominant ones. Once you have more than 2 autoimmune illnesses that fit the description, overlapping, you generally fall into being a MCTD diagnosed. But you have to have 2 to have that, but you don't have to have MCTD to have the autoimmune illnesses. I have SLE lupus, which is probably one of the biggest and the widely known one. There are variations on lupus. Recently, the most problematic, and these are things I've had, honestly, I can say probably since I was 17. I'm a mom. I never thought I'd get a chance to be a mom. I deal with chronic illnesses every single day. I don't necessarily want to write about them in a way that garners attention due to pity or, the woe is me sort of thing. Although there is that component to it. I'm human, so it would be ridiculous to say that's not a component of it. But I also had a group of people who I knew were hurting. And I mean that in really talking as far as lifestyle and their bodies and having what people have deemed, and I think it's a fitting name, invisible illnesses or chronic illnesses. I don't think that somebody would look at me walking down the street and think, wow, she's got like 3 or 4 different chronic illnesses right now, because you can look at me and I don't, have chicken pox or, bruises that you can see, or I don't really look sick, whatever that means. And honestly, it's incredibly important to get that kind of awareness out. And I think a lot of people do try to do that. And then I think there is a segment of the population that feels that they are alone. And I can relate to that because I have felt very alone with a lot of my stuff that's happened to me. And I'm sorry for getting a little emotional, but it's the reality of the situation. Nobody knows what to say when you say I have cancer, or I might lose the use of my legs, or anything of that sort. There is no right thing to say, and I get that, because people have told me their stuff, their stories, which I believe that pain and suffering is subjective. Certain things I do believe have a little bit more objectivity to them overall. I mean, obviously, God forbid, someone who is literally, and I don't mean figuratively, the way they changed the definition in the dictionary, don't get me started, but literally people who are dying, and they're there, they're kind of trying not to go gentle into that good night, and for me, when I look at those people, I see myself as absolutely healthy, because by comparison, I'm doing great. So stories, it's not so much that they're different, but it's how the person talks about them, which is what makes them individual and unique and have purpose. And I think I know a lot of that's why I started to blog.